shit at the pot.
He stepped up, he's hit.
Niggas be broken, be sober, but still talking shit like
And
they
he
got it.
fumbles the football at the
They say
end.
that they got it. Some money, these niggas gon' say that they got it.
Oh my God.
You're not with the kid, it's success, and these niggas gon' blame it on talent. They don't wanna see you win. They don't wanna see the race. You don't wanna see a bitch caught up in the stars like you out of space. Mention that they kinda at the mention and I'm running out of space.
Welcome to episode 16 of the City of Brotherly Love Sportscast. Same co-host as each week, Dylan and Blake. Make sure you hit them likes and subscriptions. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Never miss an episode again. Shit's popping off. Just want to say thanks for the support last week. That shit popped off with Shane as our first guest last week. We're working on getting more people on for the following weeks coming up. So be ready. If you guys want to be a guest, let us know. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about this week between trade deadline, the Flyers being fucking ass, Phillies spring training starts in a week, and fucking I don't know what the fuck the Eagles are doing, but I guess Anthony Harris is a good signing. So we'll start off with the Sixers. Officially number one in the power rankings this week, and they're playing without Joel Embiid. I think we're 6-2 since Joel went down. But the big thing that we want to talk about this week is so we ended up not getting Lowry, and George Hill ended up being who we ended up with. Not mad about it. But
yeah, we didn't get Lowry. We didn't get Alonzo.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get Norman Powell. I don't know. George Hill was like my third or fourth option. My third option at best. He was like literally
a lot.
He was literally my fourth option. George Hill, we got him for free, basically. Honestly, those fucking second round picks were like 2025, 2026 or something like that. So literally that trade was not. You see some people overreact about Tony Bradley. Like I get he was playing good, but that's what made him so tradable was because this dude wasn't ever going to play, and then Embiid got hurt. He increased his value on his own for us. We traded him and we got rid of poop-ass Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah.
Sent T-Ferg right back to OKC. Go back from where he came from, you fucking bum.
Well, he went to the Knicks, but
Oh, he went to the Knicks?
Yeah. It was a three-way trade.
Oh, yeah, it was three-way. All right, well, send him right up to MSG. That's their problem now. Mm-hmm. Not that he was ever really a problem here. He's just a bum.
Just useless bum. Big thing with Hill is like last season, he shot 43%. He was Milwaukee's
shot 46%
from three. Yeah,
running the second unit off their bench.
And that's exactly what he's going to do here. And what we need him to do is to run that second unit. And if he can run that second unit there's still going to be times where you still have Seth and Danny on the floor with you. You still got those dudes. Toby runs with the second guys a lot because he can play. Seems like he plays a lot of minutes, but they're still going to be like, I guess now we got to depend. I was one of the people I didn't like getting rid of Tony, but like you said, it was him playing well and made the trade probably happen. You know what I mean? He
wasn't going to be anything here really realistically because we got Dwight here. Who knows what happens after this season if we re-sign Dwight? God forbid we win. Maybe you don't re-sign Dwight, but if you lose, maybe he's like, let's run it back. Like I think we can win a chip.
Yeah.
So realistically, and you got the dude Paul Reed. He was G League MVP. I'm not hyping up some G Leaguer. Shake came from there though. Shake really developed. We've developed guys, so it's possible. So Paul Reed, he'll probably be the guy playing now, back on minutes for Dwight now while Embiid is still out. But what this move definitely told me is that sometimes through the Sixers organization, especially since the process and after, they've been pretty shady with injuries and not knowing stuff like, oh, he's going to be out this long. And then right when they expect the time's done, it's like, nah, he's out this long.
Yeah.
So this tells me sometimes you worry because, they said bone bruise, but you could sometimes miss it and it could be a meniscus tear. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So this tells me Embiid's going to be ready. Who knows how soon? I don't know what the MVP rankings to look like. I'm not really worried about that. My worry is Broad Street, but I do want to see our players win individual awards.
They dropped him down to 5th this week.
Who the fuck is above him?
They got Jokic at 1, Dame at 2, Giannis at 3, Harden
Giannis
4.
at 3?
Harden 4, yeah.
Giannis at 3?
It's
Fuck
bullshit.
that dude. Harden should be above Giannis. No
Agreed.
doubt.
Agreed.
Dame.
I think Dame and Jokic should be 1 and 2.
Fuck Jokic.
If we're not talking Joel, obviously.
Yeah. And I get it because the injury now, so it's probably going to be hard for Joel to really make an MVP surge unless he comes
out and drops 40 every game.
Yeah, he's going to have to be back on that 30-point per game pace, which he's probably going to be, but let's just say he's not. And he's at like 25 or something, which is still good, but
yeah,
it's all right. But, let's get back to it. So
the effects of the trades to me, but not even looking towards the future, not thinking who all these guys that we know are getting bought out, who the Nets are going to be aiming towards, who the Heat are going to be aiming towards. George Hill was a big piece that we needed. So I know a few of the people on Twitter, a few of the other podcasts on Twitter were talking about this. Like today, does this move make us the Eastern Conference favorites?
No.
Don't think so?
No. 1 seed means absolutely nothing because, especially in the East, if you look at recent years, the 1 seed in the East, I don't think has went on the win and usually hasn't even repped in the finals. I forget what it was.
AKA
the Cavs might have been like the last team to rep in the finals for the East. And I don't even know if they were. I'm sure they were with LeBron, but God forbid, knock on wood, they weren't. But I remember hearing the stat. It was like crazy. It was like the last maybe 5 to 10 years. I'd have to look it up. I'm going to look it up in a minute. And I should have had that research done. And it was like, nah, the 1 seed doesn't matter. It does matter for us, I think, specifically now because we could have been like the 4 seed with Lowry, and I'd be like confident. But now we're just the same team.
I think the way the setup is right now.
Yeah.
I think the 1 seed is just so important because you completely avoid Milwaukee and Brooklyn until the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. I think a big worry is, and wasn't worried about them in the beginning of the year. I thought they were going to be good again. We had them as like one of the people we were worried about. And I always said, hey, their size is why they won't be as good. But even when they didn't have size, we still struggled. That was a Brett Brown team. We struggled with them last year. It was the Heat. And they just added Oladipo. He went for pretty much a bag. I was going to say bag of dicks, but a bag of chips. He literally went for Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley. I mean, Kelly Olynyk's a bit like that's a big deal. Like, it's Kelly Olynyk. Like, come on, dude, looks like a dirty hippie. But Avery Bradley, this dude is like he looks like he aged terrible, bro. He looks like he's like 50, dude. He looks older than Denzel.
Thumb.
He looks older than Denzel Washington. Like, come on, get out of here. He's on pace to be like Morgan Freeman's age right now. He doesn't even play. He was irrelevant. He got the most useless ring in the world last year with the Lakers, and it was like a first round pick swap. He's a bum, and they got Oladipo, and I think Oladipo is a little bit overrated.
Yeah,
I think he was on pace to be. He was doing incredible things before that crazy injury.
Yeah,
and I felt so bad because I don't like Indiana, but he was doing incredible things, and he still is good. Like, I would have took him for that if I knew that was the asking price.
Absolutely.
Like, so it kind of makes me think, like, maybe, like, we didn't want to take on the max. Like, I don't know how the cap space worked out, and I didn't definitely want to give up Danny. Definitely didn't. Even if it was for Oladipo, I still didn't want to give up Danny because the spacing on the floor is crazy with Danny. We'll get into that later. But it's like he just went for fucking nothing, and the Heat are getting good. I don't know if LaMarcus Aldridge ever got balled out yet or what happened with that, but they said they're the front runners for him now. That Heat team they're hot. They can shoot the lights out of the gym. They got the baby Splash Bros and Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro. They got Gritty with Jimmy Butler and Bam. Bam's a nice, gritty little player, but he's good overall. He's good defensively. He has a nice little offensive game to him. He has size. I mean, like, he'd probably be on Joe, and Joe's just going to shit on him all day.
Absolutely.
So their team's nice, dude. Like, there's no ands, ifs, or buts. They still got, what's his name? Is it Kendrick Nunn? And
Kendrick Nunn, yeah.
They still have Trevor Ariza. So their team's nice. Like, they have nice vet pieces. They have a nice balance of youth and vets. And it's crazy because they really, I think, are emerging. Like, I think I might be more scared of them than the Bucks. Like, the Bucks don't scare me. The the Bucks really don't scare me. Like, I'm being honest. They really don't. Like, they don't. Like, Giannis doesn't scare me. I don't know what it is. It's like if we were playing Dame scares me because that motherfucker has a clutch. They went through his highlights the other day. He has a clutch bucket against every team in the league already. A clutch bucket. That is insane. Like, so many buzzer beaters, so many go-aheads. Like I'm just saying, like, God forbid they, like, switch roles. I'd be more scared. Like, I really would. Like, I'm not even over-exaggerating.
It's always
really
Dame
would.
time.
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, I'm scared of the Nets, though, because now with buyouts, they're going to be the top destination. If guys are going to ring chase, and it's New York. A lot, like, I don't know about basketball players, but I know, like, hockey, even baseball. I'm just going to say all sports, maybe not football as much, but I feel like even as football, we just saw this past weekend free agency. I feel like guys love the big city life. I don't know why they do. I guess it makes sense because if you're single, you party, maybe even if you do have a girl or whatever, or any of that type of shit. So, yeah, dude, you're going to want to go to Brooklyn, and then you're going to want to go to LA because LeBron's a GM by himself. The GM out there is useless because LeBron does everything himself.
They're dropping quick.
They're going to drop, but they're going to – doesn't matter. You got LeBron James on your team. You're going to be probably – I think the Clippers got, like, worse but better. I don't know even if that makes sense.
Rondo for Lou is kind of a weird trade, but
they needed a point guard.
Yeah,
and Rondo is that. Rondo's a good point guard. He's always been that, like, his whole career. He was definitely way better when he was with the Celtics, but he's still that guy. He's pass first, high basketball IQ. He's pretty decent. He's pretty good defensively. So
absolutely
the whole fit out there. They're fucked too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So while Joel's out, Toby and Ben are playing really fucking good. Hopefully they continue that. We got the Lakers tonight at 10 p.m. By the time you guys hear this, the game will obviously be done. And then we go and we play the Clippers and the Nuggets in back-to-back games and the Cavs, and then we go back home for a few. But I'm excited. I think they can compete. I think like you said, I think the East is slimming down now. I really think it's down to 4 teams.
6-1.
It's 6-0.
6-1.
Oh, 6-1. Wow.
6-1.
So talking about that, so the Flyers, they're now losing to the Rangers 6-1 at the moment. This is second period, 6-1. They only took 3 points from the Islanders in a 3-game series.
They played
lose to the Devils
amazing
4-3. You're now the 5th seed in the East Division, 2 points behind the Bees, but the Bees have 3 games in hand. And all you have is Fletcher coming out saying we're not selling right now. Says he's being aggressive,
we're not
but nobody's biting or whatever he said.
Because it makes sense because NHL is a different type of market.
Yeah.
They're the smallest market out of the 4 major sports. So their players make, like, less money. And, like, Connor McDavid's your best player in the league. And I think he might make the most, if not, like, Austin Matthews or somebody does. And McDavid, even him being the highest paid player in the league, it's like fucking oranges to apples compared to someone like a LeBron or like a Mike Trout or even a Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
So it sucks. The Flyers suck, dude. Like, I do want to rant, and I think they are worthy of a rant now this week. The 9-0 loss. What the rant? It's 6-1. They're probably on pace for fucking worse than 9-0, and it's just sickening. Like, one of these nights, like, it just came out, like, we have the most goals scored all time for a game. It was against the Pittsburgh Penguins back in, I think, like, the 80s. It was 14-4, and I'm like, dude, I think we can let up more than 14 goals in a game at this point
right now,
because that's the forward play. My opinion has never changed once this season. It's good, but when your defense is just so bad and you're losing a game like that, it's just crazy. It's brutal. And it's like, and I just told you, like, you texted me the Devils game. I went to play a pickup soccer game. I got called last minute, and I just got done. And you were like, "We need this win. We need any win. It doesn't matter. Every game, points are needed no matter what." And you texted me that right away, so I was like, all right, like, damn. And you were like, And I check, and it's 1-0. And I'm like, that's game over. Like, that's just how I feel. Even if they go up 1-0, a lead's never safe. Like, we were playing the Islanders, and I think it was when we won, or was it the Rangers? One of them. It was recently. It was the Isles, because we still ended up coming through. Oscar hit that slap shot, and we won in the last 2 minutes. And we're up 3-0, and then I think it was like 3-1. We had 2-goal lead, and I'm like, all right. Everybody's texting me the second intermission, you, Frost. And I'm like, there's still 20 minutes of hockey left. That's just my first thought. Like, there's still 20 minutes of hockey left. You just don't know with this team. And it's fucking sickening that I have to fucking sit here every week. I'm probably the biggest Flyers fan anybody fucking knows. His cousin Johnny's just as big. And I didn't even watch the Devils game. I didn't bother to turn it on. And me and Soph went out. We did a few things before we started recording this. We ate dinner, and I'm not even bothered. I wanted to turn it on tonight, even before the pod. Like, I was like, if I was home, I was going to turn it on. But I'm so glad I wasn't. Like, everything happens for a reason. And, like, I'm so stress-free not watching this team. Because when I watch this team, me and you, we rant a little bit. Me and Frost, you would think I'm arguing with my fiance or something. Like, writing paragraphs over how bad the fucking Flyers are. And it's like, what's there to blow up? The only thing I can think of, and it kills me to say this, is a change in leadership or coaches. You change, you finally talk to Giroux, and he's a no movement clause. You either wait the year out next year, and he's a free agent, and he walks, which might happen anyway, because you might be like, hey, it's time where he stays, and you just take the C away from him. And Voracek, they're the only people here really from the last decade. There's no same core of players really. None. Like, JVR was on that Cup team, but that was it. So it's like, what really is there to blow up? I mean, you can move guys. Like, you can move Zanheim. Like, I love Zanheim. I've been a big fan of his, but it's like, you were supposed to take a step forward this year, and you haven't. Same with Myers, but I think I would keep Myers. Yeah. It'd be one or the other, and I'd probably keep Myers. And then Ghost and Gustafson need to go. Even though Ghost's offensive game has kind of came back around this year, but he's just so bad defensively.
He's just so fucking slow too.
And then I'm talking to people, like, we got young prospects like Wade Allison. He kind of reminds me of like Corey Perry. For those you know, Corey Perry is this kid's like 6'2", like kind of like a power forward type, and he can snipe the fuck.
It's who we just signed to a 2-way contract today, right?
No, that was like Max Williman or something. I don't even know. He was like a Buffalo 5th round draft pick we picked up, and but Wade Allison's sick. I've been following him for years now. He's dirt nasty. You've been following him since the 2016 draft. He was our
that's right. Yeah.
And then Cam York, he's our defenseman, our first overall pick from last year. And he just won Big Ten Defenseman of the Year. And he can come up and he can play. And most people probably would. But I hope they don't, because the defense is so bad and there's so many bad habits. I do not want my young defenseman who has promising talent to come up, play, and I have to worry about him picking up bad habits because all these guys are so bad. And like Provy, even if he was playing at his elite level, he's not going to pick this defense up. This defense is just weighing on him, dude. He's an assistant. He plays at least 25 minutes a night. I can't even I don't know if I'm ranting, but like, I'm not as mad as I should be. I'm furious. I just freaking out to you guys over this. On the mic, me screaming isn't going to do the job. I just feel bad, and this is horrible to watch. And they're not making playoffs. AV said at the beginning of the year, I remember listening to 97.5, we're going to make the playoffs. That's their first goal. Where the fuck is it, coach? You know where I'm going to start? Some people might say change of leadership. I say fire the assistant coaches. You have Mike Yo, head coach of the St. Louis Blues 2 fucking years ago. They were the worst team in the fucking league. They fire him. Craig Berube takes over. They win the fucking cup. Michel Therrien, he did go to the cup with the Penguins back in 07-08. They lost to Detroit, as many know. The next year, they're off to a bad start. They fire him. They go on to win the fucking cup. Fire those dudes. Get them out of there. The PK is absolutely atrocious. Your defense is atrocious. Your goaltenders are shook so bad because of the defense playing in fucking front of them. I'm sick watching this shit. It's my favorite sport, and I have to sit here and we're the worst team in the league. Our goal differential was plus fucking 10 like 2 weeks ago, and now we're fucking almost like negative 20. It is crazy, and I'm sorry for all the F-bombs. I know we curse. That's what we do in here. It's a podcast. We're not.
It's explicit, baby.
We're not official, but the amount of F-bombs, I could drop fucking 100 in a row, and they're worth it because this team is absolute garbage. This team was supposed to be a cup contender. Before the season started, they were picked as a top 8 team throughout the whole league, which is good. So that means you're one of the top 4 teams in the fucking East. And you're so deep. You're 4 lines deep. Your defense was generally question mark. We knew we'd be missing Matt this year. Your goalie's not even taking a step up. I'll defend him in some cases that he's young and starting, but god damn it, it is annoying to watch. I can't watch it anymore. Like I watched one goal tonight and I saw the defense on it. And they're just standing around, letting a dude in the crease, and it's just a one-time tap-in. Like, get out of here with this shit. Just quit. Forfeit this season. Send all your guys down. You can't even do it, but send all your guys down to the AHL and let the fans play for you because that's how fucking bad you are. Rant over. I'm done. Balls in your court, though, because this team is fucking sickening, and I'm over it.
It's just brutal to me because, like, you throw that out there. What are you going to do? You're going to change leadership or you're going to change coaching? But like you said, I think you need to do – personally, I think you need to do both. But my biggest thing with changing the leadership is say you trade Giroux or you let Giroux walk and then you trade Voracek or you let Voracek walk. I think he's got a little longer on the contract. But personally, I don't think Coots is ready to wear the C right now.
And he's probably your captain next, and he's an assistant. I don't know how vocal he is in the locker room. Like
That's what I'm saying.
I see like a Kevin Hayes. He came here last year. They told him right away. Like AV already knew him because he coached him in New York.
Yeah.
Him and Fletcher, when they signed him, every time that dude's on a podcast, anytime a Flyers players, I listen. But Kevin Hayes specifically because I've been a big fan of his since day one. And I listen, and he's like they pretty much told me to come in here. He said they told me right away they wanted me to take over, kind of be a leader.
Yeah,
and he did that, and I think Coots would be the next C, and it makes sense. I just don't know how vocal he is.
Because you just don't know because you don't hear anything about it.
And another thing was this team still does lack. They've been good scoring, like Farabee scoring. JVR still balling.
Farabee looks great. There's positives to the team.
Giroux has looked great on a third line with Oscar Lindblom and Nicholas Abu Cabell. Sorry. And that's your captain, and he's not taking on the responsibility he used to because he used to have to worry about carrying his team, doing everything, and he still does give you PK minutes. He's not even on power play 1 unit sometimes, which is crazy because he's one of the best power play specialists in the league for the last decade.
Still to this day,
that's how you know the power play is bad because when he is out there, 90% of the time they score a power play goal now. At least when I'm watching, they score power play goals when he's out there. But when he's not, they get one here and there. So that's just how you know whoever's in charge of the power play needs to fucking go, dude. And the PK, it's been the same thing for the last decade. They sit there, they play a zone, and they watch. I'd rather have an aggressive forecheck on the PK, chase them in, make them circle the puck, put them under pressure. When they're coming and starting from their own net and coming up the ice, fucking attack them. Don't let them just skate into the zone. That's not what you do.
Which is what happens every time, right up the middle.
And you watch any great PK, they don't do that. And I just don't get with this friend. When am I going to see a Stanley Cup? Because I feel like I'm real close to seeing a Larry O'Brien. I saw the Super Bowl, and the first thing we ever saw, and we were all blessed with, was I don't care, the Super Bowl team is great. The most beloved team in this city ever was the Philadelphia Phillies.
At that time, absolutely.
That 08 team is still probably the most beloved. Yeah. I know people love the Eagles because it's still fresh and new. But the guys on that team were just so likable and lovable. And you get to the Flyers, and they have guys like a G. And it's just hockey, so it's different. But it's such a dire sport. It's just crazy, dude. If we did even trade Giannock or let them walk, it's like you had a good balance of youth where, like, guys like TK, where the fuck are you at, bro? You're not taking the next step. Provy, you kind of – I'm not going to give him a lot of shit because I feel like I don't see seen like one bad play from him that I really remember this year, and it was when he tried to.
My thing with him though is they're just going to destroy him
because he's playing too much a game, dude.
He's playing way too much, dude. He's hitting at like 35 minutes a fucking game.
It's just like look at hockey playoffs this year and try to remember this conversation. I'm sure we'll talk about it even all because we always talk.
Absolutely.
When you look at playoff runs, they always have their vets on there. Like when the Sharks went and lost to the Penguins, you had your Logan Coutures. He was kind of like. He's like 33 or 35 now, but something like that. But he was still older but young then. But then you have like your Brent Burns and you have your Joe Thornton who's like almost 40. You have your Patrick Marleau. Like whereas you have Giroux now who's 33. You have Voracek now. I think he's like similar in age. I don't know his exact age. I just know Giroux because he's my favorite player. But it's like you need those balance of vets. Like every cup run has it. Penguins, Lightning had it last year. Capitals have it with TJ Oshie, Tom Wilson, Evgeny
Yeah.
Kuznetsov, John Carlson, Brooks Orpik. Like, come on, dude. Like, even when like I don't know. It's just so goddamn infuriating. I turn this team on nightly and I watch them no regret. I choose them over the Sixers, and the Sixers are the better team, obviously. And I love basketball, and it is no knock on basketball. It's just hockey is such my favorite sport, and I didn't even play it growing up. I just have such a love for it, and I'm very passionate about it. And I don't even the last 2 nights I am not turning it on, and I might not turn them on. I probably will. I say that, but I might not turn them on the rest of the year. And I wanted to go to a game, but I don't want to go to a game now. This team does not
This
deserve
doesn't
my
seem like if I go to a 6-1 game, I'm not gonna have fun.
I would leave. Honestly, I'd never leave sporting events, but if it was 6-1 right now in the second period, I'd leave. And my one boy, he's like my boy from growing up. His girlfriend's a New York Rangers fan.
Oh no.
And like earlier in the year, we beat them a couple of times, and then they won like one game. And this was when we were in playoffs, and they were all hyped. And he's like, I want to hear it from my family. He was like, look where they are in the standings. They're creeping up. They might make a playoff. They might make a playoff push, and they have youth. They have speed. Zibanejad probably was struggling so much this year, but he's probably thanking this Flyers defense because he's really found confidence, and the puck bounces are starting to go his way, and he's tearing us the fuck up. He has 6 points in a fucking period against us, and I think a natural hat trick. I'm not sure, but I'm over it, bro.
So
as I was saying,
I guess with that, keep our eyes peeled on the trade deadline still, dude. I don't know what their gonna plan is. I don't know what they plan on making a move for Ekholm or Davies or somebody, but it's almost to the point like don't even make a move and just fucking move on to.
Don't make a move.
We're just getting to that point, but
so let's get to it. There's been tons of moves around this city, right? Have there not? More important note, I'll let you hit it because you always take over. But
on a more positive note, the Phillies start their season in 1 week time. The Braves today announced Max Fried is going to be their starter on opening day. This dude went 7-0 last year. Fucking like they had like 3.5 ERA or some shit, but they're looking good, man. So today they had as with their spring trade they're playing right now, the Yankees. DD hit a 3-run shot. The biggest question mark right now, everything's pretty much set. The starting rotation's set. Bullpen's set besides Spence and Vinny V. They're fighting it out right now. But center field. But today they had Kutch in the DH, and they put Quinn in center and Odubel in left. I don't know if it was more of a now they're trying to see you're going to compete. You're going to both get the same amount of bats. Hazley played the last 2 games. Moniak, for some fucking reason, they sent him back down.
Probably just giving him more time. He's still 22, which is crazy because we overreact in this city. Baseball prospects take forever.
They do.
You get like a young Dominican kid or I don't want to say Dominican because I don't want to I'm not stereotyping or like profiling, but like you get like the Spanish kids like Soto and Acuna, they come up so damn young and they're just so damn good already.
They're so good from the beginning.
But you get a lot of guys that, like I'm pretty sure Bregman really wasn't. He's like 24 now, I think, like 25, but he didn't come up till like he was like 22, I think.
Yeah.
You get guys like that, like for an example, that it's just one, but like it takes time, and I feel like we overreacted with Moniak, but he was just touted as like the next Mike Trout, so it made us overreact. But we're just such a stupid ass fan base, so
absolutely. But like
he's shown promise, but I think he needs more time. Just keep letting him rock.
Yeah. Just let his bat work more. His fielding's really good. I think Odubel's the best option. I think none of them have a crazy bat, and Odubel's showing that he has a nice bat, and he still has the swing. And I think he has the best glove. Obviously, he doesn't have the Quinn speed, but
you don't need speed if you can track a ball well. Sometimes that speed does help.
Absolutely.
Thank God Kingery cannot be in the equation for this. That kid, maybe he brought up just too early. He was definitely anointed too early. People had his jersey after like the first fucking 4 games. I remember because I go to Phillies games every year, just like you.
Yeah.
And I was going a lot, especially like the last couple of years, like even when they got Harper and even before they got Harper. I actually was back involved in Phillies baseball the most I was this past decade since those teams fell off and we were just straight trash. And people were just anointing this kid already. And I was like, all right, like we'll see because you come up. And like I was kind of waiting for what Bomb last year. But Bomb, he never struggled. He just took off and that's how you know a kid's ready. Yep. Because he will struggle eventually, but as long as you keep going and keep going. And Bomb did that. He was the best 0-2 hitter in the league. I'm pretty sure he was the best 2-out hitter in the league. Mm-hmm. And it's like Kingery was none of that. He was doing some nice things. He has speed, Scotty jet pokes, but he needs to go down to like AA or AAA.
He needs to
get some bats, get some reps, maybe get a lot of glove work at second because that's the only spot I see him having on this team in the future.
I think he has 24 at bats this spring, and he has like 15 strikeouts.
And the work,
like it's brutal. It's brutal.
I'm gonna have to look that one up after this because
I
don't hate him. I'm not the biggest fan of him though, and I was never. And same with Hoskins. Like I liked Hoskins, and I loved what Hoskins brought when he first came to the team, but I never jumped on his bandwagon either. I was excited about what he was doing though, and he had a beautiful swing until Krappler messed it up. So he's the biggest question mark for me. But center fielder job, I hope they don't give it to Quinn, and I hope they don't like hold like a grudge over Abdul. I hope they just give it to Abdul.
You have to give it, dude. I understand what the background, and we talked about it a few episodes ago, and making sure he gets, I mean, like what he deserved, which he pretty much did, but he's the best player on the field on both sides, defensively and offensively.
And I think like if you go down like the pecking order of like fielders and like not the pitching staff, none of them, and like batters, it's gonna be like JT Harper, they're your 1-2, and I only have JT 1 because he's the best catcher in baseball, and his glove is insane, his pop time is insane, and then Harper 2 because we know what Harper is, and he's going to be absolutely insane this year.
Yeah, and
that's me maybe speaking just all feeling, but he's going to be great. He's going to hit like 35 and 120, and I'm going to love every bit of it as well as you. And then you get the 3, and you're probably like Didi. Didi was crazy good last year, and he's probably your 3rd best player. Him or Bomb. They're 3, 4, and then your 5th best player, it is probably Abdul.
Yeah.
I don't know. Name me someone else. You're going to say Hoskins? I think Abdul's going to be better than Hoskins. He's going to have a better bat. He gets on base more. He might not drop as many bombs, but he can.
Hoskins gets the walks.
He has better fielding. No, well, Abdul gets walks too. So we'll see. I mean, that's my whole outlook. I really am excited for Abdul. Hell, if he's back in the lineup and he does nothing stupid, I might give it like the year. I want a JT jersey first, but I might buy myself.
I already got mine coming in the mail.
I gotta put an order in, but I might buy an Abdul jersey, and I don't want to be that guy.
As long as he can stay consistent.
People might give me shit for that, but
gives a fuck.
I've been supporting him. You heard me say.
I'm calling it right now. This team is making the playoffs.
Yeah. I was talking about today because there's one dude at work. He's like an older man, his name's Tyrone. And me and him, we talk all Philly sports, but we talk baseball specifically because he loves baseball.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, 1 week. And I'm like, what's he talking about? Because we haven't talked sports in a while. And I was like, baseball. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, I can't wait. I'm so pumped. I mean, you were talking, I was like, dude, they're so slept on, and I love it. Maybe that's another, and like not going back to them, but maybe that's another thing with the Flyers. They were anointed early, like people were like cupping them. Anytime a team in the city gets dubbed so good, like the Sixers weren't dubbed before the season. They weren't really. Anytime a team gets dubbed something, they're bad in this town. I don't know what it is. They can't live up to expectations.
Like the Eagles after the Super Bowl.
Phillies. Yeah, literally. Phillies, they're right there under the radar.
I know.
Braves are better than us, which is true. Mets are better than us, which is debatable. Nats are better than us, which is debatable. and we're right there with the fourth team. They're like, Marlins and Phillies. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. We might win 90 this year. We might not. We might win high 80s. I think 90s is what's going to take, and we're going to win 90.
People forget that we were one game out of a playoff spot last year.
And the bullpen suck, but my guy is gassing out here, hitting 101, baby.
Yeah, I miss my beard.
I
miss
love
my Archie
Alvarado.
beard.
I love Art. He'll grow back out the work.
Archie, Alvarado. That boy Jojo Romero is going to come up this year. I did not know this is going to be his rookie season, technically.
Yeah,
so,
because
dude, fucking slap that shit. But I'm calling that shit. They're going to at least get a wild card spot. Book it now. Catch me on opening night. I'll be there. Got my tickets. So I just have one more topic to talk about because I don't really know how I feel about it. I mean, I personally don't like one signing, do like one signing. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but the Eagles signed Joe Flacco to a more expensive deal than Jalen Hurts is even making. And then they sign Anthony Harris to that 1-year deal, more of like a Anthony Harris deal is more of prove yourself type deal. If he ends up proving himself, they'll re-sign him or he'll go get a fat ass contract somewhere else. But I don't like the Flacco signing at all. I think you could have just brought in like a Sudfeld for $1 million. And now with that, after Flacco, you're literally, our cap right now is below $1 million right now. I think we're at like 850,000 or some shit.
So, do I like the idea of having Flacco here, especially if Hurts is going to be the starter going forward? Yes. I think he can help a lot. He's been good in playoffs. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's a local boy, so I'm not going to lie. If there's ever a chance where like Hurts is doing bad and he comes in, I'm going to root for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to root for him.
And hell, from what it sounds like, they sounded like they're bringing in competition. He's 36. I know he still has arm strength. I mean, he looked good in that Patriots game this past year. I can remember. But my whole problem with the contract is they gave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
He didn't even make that much last year. I think he's like making $2 million more with incentives up to like
can go up like $7 million.
So what does a backup get incentives for? Especially backup QB. So like, what is this telling me about this franchise? Like, and now like, I mean, I still want Zach Wilson, bro. I think I'm high as ever on the kid. I fucking love him.
Yeah, let us know if you want to do if you guys want us to do a mock draft soon.
Oh, we're just doing it, whatever. But I love that. I'm not saying I want the Eagles to pick him, low key would, but I want 13 anyway. But if they took another QB, especially if they're signing Flacco, this city is gonna erupt. And
I know.
I don't know if I can be here for it. Like, I don't even know if I can do that pod episode. I might be like hiding. Because I like the Harris signing, but this team's like trying to like make a point that like they can still compete. Like, you ain't gonna win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. Not next year at least. I think probably never. But that's just I guess it's like kind of a hot take for future references. But
we're finishing in 4th place this year.
Honestly, I hope we do, and we get a really high pick. And if we finish in 4th, you know what that says about everything now? That says Jalen Hurts isn't the QB, most likely, because obviously if the team's that bad, he was probably that bad.
Yeah.
And then that says we got to find a QB now, but we have a high draft pick. So if we're that bad and we're 4th, hopefully we're there for Sam Howell or whoever emerges like the top guy. Because like Zach Wilson, he was okay. There's other years he was good, but he really like came out of nowhere like a Joe Burrow this year.
Excelled, yeah.
And that's what my whole thought is out of it. But we should have 2 firsts next year, hopefully. So that would be nice. So if we did have to take a QB, we can take another player in the 1st round. God forbid, that's looking way down the line. With that being said, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think maybe we do finish 4th, but I think the NFC East is just going to be close again. I said I'm going to be that asshole, and I'm never this optimistic asshole. I think it was kind of going to be like a Carson Wentz rookie year, like 7-9, lose like 5-6 games by like one possession, which tells you a lot, which tells you Hurts is probably the guy.
Yeah.
And Hurts is your guy rolling forward. That's the case.
And if he can prove himself, I'm here for it.
I'm supporting him no matter what this year.
If he can prove himself.
I'm giving him the leeway. I was hard on him, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't like him still. I don't hate the kid as a person. I think he has great leadership qualities and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm hoping like this year's not too hard on us. Like I don't want Wentz to suck, but I hope like the Colts are like I am a fan of Wentz, but I kind of just don't want to be looking at this dude balling week in, week out if that's the case, and me regretting life and headbutting this table.
I know
every
it's
week
just
we're on
it's
here.
brutal.
So,
I don't even. It's hard to think because he's going into a very good situation.
and I think some of the stuff he said was kind of alarming. I'm not gonna lie. Like Wentz is
On the McAfee show.
Just like in his regular presser, like he said, like the first time he got benched in his career, like this is the only thing I agree with on people necessarily is like the first time he got benched, he thought this might not be it, which tells me either one or two spoiled. Not against Wentz, I love him. You know that.
Yeah.
Or two, there was a lot of riffraff in the front office. Then that went down and how that unfolded, and you were kind of
More than we're even seeing.
Yeah, so that's what that could have been. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that was. I'm saying, God forbid, which I think maybe it was more just along the lines, he's always been the big fish in the small pond, and now he was the small fish in the big pond, and this happened, and he was so used to being coddled, which I'm not going to lie, he was sometimes, and he just couldn't handle the adversity kind of, which I sometimes, like I can defend points of him. He shouldn't have necessarily felt like that, but at the same time, he probably felt like that because they drafted Hurts and now they're putting him in. So it was kind of a different situation. It wasn't just like a typical bad backup like a Mike Glennon was going in. It's like, no, you just wasted a second-round pick. Like this was your plan all along. And I said that to people, and people really didn't believe me.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, but whatever. It is what it is. I mean, we'll get that first next year from them. Hopefully we're good. And the Harris signing, apparently the dude was graded as like the second best on Pro Football Focus, which is taking
in the last 3 years or something.
Yeah, it was something crazy. It was like one whatever, and he's a beast. But I don't even want to compete this year. I really don't.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it's a proving contract for him.
And I don't want to wake up every Sunday and not root for my team because I'm going to root for them. I don't want to wake up every Sunday and it be like a miserable Sunday because that's what this year was. This year
wake up every Monday pissed off.
This year was one of the worst football years of my life. Honestly, this might have been worse than when we went. What was it the 2-14 or the 3-13 year with the Dream Team? Or was it 4-12? It was something like that. It was bad, and that was bad. But this honestly felt worse, especially now because we're older. We're more invested than we were when we were younger.
Absolutely.
So this, in my life right now,
especially now getting into this and stuff too, like doing more of the analytics research and like
even Chip Kelly's last year was very frustrating, highly frustrating. But this year was way worse and
brutal. So I mean, prayers for a good season because I'm trying to have a good time. I mean, like we said, I don't know what's going to pan out to be, but let's enjoy this team right here that we got going on right now. Let's enjoy baseball season popping off in 1 week time. Villanova, Sweet 16. Let's see if they can get past Baylor this week.
Best defensive player in college baseball, Davion Mitchell. He clamps, but I don't care, boy. We're coming for you. We got the best coach left in the tournament. Hell, we got the best coach in college basketball at me now.
My dude Robinson Babe out of fucking.
So I think Jay Wright's going to have a game plan. I don't think we're going to win, but I think he's going to make it interesting, and I think we can upset. And if we upset Baylor, watch out the rest of that bracket because we're coming for everybody and anybody.
Yeah, this fucking bracket
I'm
is
excited.
Crazy this year, for real.
I love Nova. Love Nova so much.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, they make me happy.
Show me a fucking third chip in 6 seasons.
Might not have in this year, but it'll be nice.
Whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode this week. Talked everything from every sport in the city. Throw a little rants, a little praise, a little excitement. Get it out there. Let us know what you guys think. Maybe we'll have another guest for y'all next week.
This week was just
be ready. Let us know what you want. What do you want to hear? And
Stuff's
unless
getting
Blake has
exciting.
anything else.
Good, guys. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Enjoy running up again. And yeah, hopefully we have a guest for next week. This week was just a little tough. We didn't really plan anything out. We were talking about it a lot. We're talking about a lot. Got a lot of stuff maybe in the works.
Yeah.
Nothing in contracts that written up, but people we were targeting and want to be on our show to help us get bigger and to make this more interesting for you guys. Because I know sometimes not everybody agrees with us. You're never going to agree with everybody you listen to, but agrees with us or loves us. I know a lot of people support us, but we appreciate it as always. It was great. Throwing it back to Dill. Have a good weekend, y'all. Love y'all.
Yes, sir. Enjoy it. We out.